Welcome back, everybody. This week I'm talking about tax organizers and why they are so important to the tax process. Now, most people will not fill out tax organizers primarily because the tax organizers that many accounting firms send out are 40 plus pages long. Trust me, I know I've been guilty of that as of last year. Through last year, I was giving those exact same tax organizers that just asked a million questions and requested a bunch of information, and I understand why. I understand that we want to make sure we capture everything. And to be perfectly honest, clients tend to blame the tax preparer for not asking a question they didn't know to ask. And so those tax organizers get very, very detailed. But that detail is also the reason that many people don't fill it out because they don't want to take the time to fill out 40 plus pages of tax organizer. And I get it. I understand both sides of that road. So this year, I actually have truncated our tax organizer to 6 pages. So the one thing that all of my tax clients need to understand is that if I don't enter something into the tax return because I was not provided the information, that is not my responsibility. That is their responsibility. Pretty much almost everything, with the exception of a few transactions like the sale of a house and those kinds of things, will come with a tax document you should be providing to your tax person, your tax preparer. Now, a tax preparer can never have too much information. I would rather have more than I actually need than not enough. So if you aren't sure, include the documents. But in order to encourage my clients to do the tax organizer this year, which is a requirement of the tax process, I have shortened mine down to 6 pages. Now, both me and Lisa, my enrolled agent, are very good about asking the questions we need to based on the information we see to see if there's anything additional we should be looking for. Because believe it or not, there are always clues very often. So we are following those nuggets along the way, but still really important for you to be providing that documentation. And hopefully the tax organizer helps. Now, here's ours. It's actually pretty small, it's 6 pages. It's got several different sections. And the first one is just personal information. And yes, I understand that for a lot of people, I've done taxes the previous year, but things happen, things change. New babies are born, people get married, people get divorced. Believe it or not, last names change. Some people who are divorced are alternating which years they claim children. And so this tax organizer is very, very helpful in making sure we capture that information. So if I have done your taxes the year prior, that's going to be helpful for you to remind me, oh, this year I'm not claiming so and so, or this year I am claiming so and so, or I had a new baby. It might not apply to you, but it's there just in case, and it's important you take a look. In addition to that, we're collecting information for those of you who need to pay estimated tax payments. I need you to confirm. I know that a lot of you will email me along the year and let me know, hey, I did this. And I do my best to save that information. But I still want it to be confirmed here on the tax organizer. What bank account do you want payments or refunds to be taken or deposited into? So lots of very important information here. I have had situations where I knew a client had a baby 6 months prior, but when it came tax time, totally flew my mind. And she didn't remember it until after we had already filed the taxes. And so it created a little bit of a mess. Tax organizer would have relieved a lot of that stress. Other information I'm looking for, identification information. I need your driver's license, expiration date, issue date, all of those things in order to file tax returns now. It's been that way for a few years now, and I need that information. Even if I did it last year, fill that information out anyways. Things expire and get renewed. It's just a really simple thing that you need to be looking at. Now, lately, our tax organizers have included information related to COVID. Things have changed. We've got advanced childcare tax credits. We've got economic impact payments, also known as stimulus checks or payments that have gone out. And I need to know about all of that information so that I can include it on the tax return. That doesn't mean those things are taxable, but I do need to make note of it in the tax return because it does affect things. So things about new laws and new questions I need to be asking are included on the tax organizer. For example, cryptocurrency. You might not have bought any last year, but this year you might have, and I need to know that. And that is a very important question on the tax organizer. I need you to go ahead and let me know what's going on there. It's a pretty simple yes or no question. And then if I need additional information, at least that prompts me and Lisa to ask those additional questions. The other thing that is on the tax organizer is a forms checklist. Again, not all of these forms will apply to every person, but I want the checklist there so that it at least makes them think about it, like 1098 for mortgage interest. You know what? I didn't see that. So hopefully this checklist prevents us from missing anything in terms of those documents. Lots of other personal information about marital status, dependents, other income. Next week, I'm going to talk about a little bit of a nightmare that I'm in, but other income. There are other ways for you to receive money. For example, gambling. If you win something while you are gambling, that becomes taxable income. So I am asking about items outside of your regular W-2 or 1099s that we need to know about. Just remember that just because it isn't necessarily reported on you doesn't mean that you shouldn't be claiming it. So that's the area that we're making sure we are capturing everything that we are supposed to be capturing. There's an area called head of household. If you are claiming head of household, there are certain questions I have to ask. I've put them on the tax organizer so we don't have to stop and okay, I need to get these answers from you. The less we can stop while we're doing your taxes, the more efficient and faster we can handle them. All right. Lots of other questions. If you're using your car for business, it's got information. It's got questions regarding your car. It's got questions regarding your Schedule C, which is profit and loss from business. Now, if my company is doing your books, you don't have to fill this out. But if we are not doing your books and you don't have a set of books for me to look at or a spreadsheet, this table that you fill out is going to be very important to the process of getting your taxes done. I don't do receipts and I don't do the bookkeeping for you. So if you hand me your bank statements and say, here is all of my stuff, I'm going to charge you extra money for basically doing an entire year's worth of bookkeeping. So just keep that in mind that this tax organizer, especially this particular section for the Schedule C, is intended to help you save money and just think your way through the process. It includes information that I need in regards to home offices for those of you who qualify, as well as, like, let's say you're renting property, you have a Schedule E, so you've got all of that stuff. It's asking those questions as well. So it's really important, very important to the process. As I always keep telling people, taxes, they are a team sport. It's a team event between the tax preparer and the taxpayer. So next week, I'm actually going to talk about a little bit of a nightmare I'm going through right now that actually illustrates why that team sport spirit is so, so important. All right, everybody, we'll see you next week. Take care.